What's up, everybody? I'm Mckenty. This is my second channel, and this is your home for my Twitch highlights and my podcast. So if you like this and you want to see more of that and you want to join the live streams, there's a link to that in the description of this video. And with that out of the way, let's talk about the year that was. The year 2021, the year in music. I'm going to talk about some of the most significant releases of the year and give you my 2 cents on those for the first part of this. And for the second part of this, I will talk about some of the music that I personally liked the most. A lot of the stuff that I liked is not super popular. If you follow me closely, maybe you've seen some of this stuff, but otherwise it's stuff that you're not going to see on everyone else's end of year list, I think. In no particular order, let's just talk about some of the most important releases of the year and why. The first one is Ice9 Kills The Silver Scream Part 2. Their previous album, The Silver Scream, was their real breakout. This is when they sort of went all in on the horror theme and made this whole album about different horror movies. And this is their follow-up to that. And I think it's pretty great. This is my favorite song on it, Funeral Derangements. Can't remember exactly where they charted with this. So it went to number 18 on Billboard, number 1 hard rock, number 2 independent albums. Very successful for them, and I think it's a great album. Heavily produced. I mean, everything in metal is heavily produced now, right? It's almost like metalcore show tunes. Yeah, even black metal today is overproduced or heavily produced. Anyway, Ice9 Kills, congratulations to them for their success. I think the album is great. And if you want to talk about guitar, Dan Sugarman is a fucking awesome guitarist. Dan's an awesome guitarist. So if you're a guitar nerd, check it out. We also worked with him on riffhard.com. If you want to learn how to play guitar from him, go to riffhard.com/Dan and we will show you exactly how. Another big album of the year was You're Welcome by A Day to Remember. I did a review of this album. Long story short, I don't really like it. It's not terrible, but I don't love it. This sort of went rock with this one. Almost like Imagine Dragons, right? I really like the lyrics to this song. They're like genuinely sweet, wholesome lyrics that I really support. And it's not that it's a bad song or a bad album. It's just, I don't think this is what anybody wanted from this particular band. I mean, I don't hate this by any means. I actually like this song, especially because of the lyrics, but I don't love it. I probably wouldn't choose to listen to it again. Maybe if this was on like a country playlist, I might like it more. Yeah, it's fine. It's just not A Day to Remember, and it really does sound like Imagine Dragons, which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world. You know, it's got the stomps and claps and everything. Pretty much everyone had sort of the same reaction to the album, I think. I love these guys. Respect, like, they're one of my favorite bands of all time, but the album didn't go over well. In any case, happy to see that they're still around, still doing well, and I look forward to hearing what they do next. Another big album, the band everyone was talking about, Spiritbox, who also hit the top 20. I think they went to number 14 or 15 or something like that. This is amazing considering this band has only been around for like 4 years or something. I don't usually like this kind of genty stuff. They do it really, really well. You know, the combination of Courtney and Mike, they're both just so good at what they do. I mean, this is like what happens when you have somebody who's actually a good singer with something to say, with genuine emotion, playing this kind of music. No surprise, you know? Shout out to Mike, too. I mean, he's a fantastic guitarist and songwriter. They've put in the work. I mean, they just do everything right. That's just what it comes down to. I'm not at all surprised by their success because they just do everything right, and Courtney's very charismatic. Music with real meaning. Yeah, exactly. I mean, their songs are actually about stuff. Again, congratulations to Spiritbox for having an amazing year. Happy for all their success, and I think their album is fantastic. I'm sure that, you know, they're only going to go up from here. Next up, huge breakout year for Olivia Rodrigo and for rock in general on the back of the success of this song, which I've talked about before. Good for you. And this has 315 million views in like 9 months. This song is fucking huge, and I think it's really good, and you should be happy about this if you care about the welfare of rock in general. I think this is a great song. I don't really agree that it's a Misery Business knockoff. It's certainly similar, but I think they're two different songs personally, but whatever. All rock fans should be thanking her for making rock music at all. She's helping save our music. That is 100% true. From the chat, as it turns out, women are half of the population, and appealing to them wildly opens up a potential fan base. Yes. I wonder why she gave Paramore songwriting credit. I think she should have told them to fuck off, but I understand why she didn't. But yeah, shout out to Olivia Rodrigo. Happy to see her success as well, and I'm really looking forward to see what she does next. And we'll look back on this in hindsight, I think, and it'll be like Avril or Paramore or something, and there's going to be a whole generation of young girls who end up getting into alternative music because of her, I think, and that's awesome. So good for her, and I hope that there's no more scandals, you know, no more accusations of plagiarism stuff, because that's got to really be a bummer for her, especially at such a young age. It's got to really suck dealing with all that hate. So I hope that clears up for her as well. I'm scared rock music fans will punish her into not making new rock songs. I think that's very likely too. Another big one was Turnstile. They had a big year. I mean, look at this, 800,000 views on a hardcore video in less than a year. It's no joke. I like their old stuff better personally because it's a little bit more hardcore, but I get why this is more successful. It's, you know, kind of infusing it with a little bit more like indie dream pop kind of shit. This album kind of did to hardcore what Sunbather did to black metal. I think that's exactly right. It was that sort of gateway for alternative indie kind of people who otherwise, you know, wouldn't touch this genre because it was a little too edgy and scary. It was their gateway to finally kind of get into it, I think. I don't think they've changed that much either, just compared to the 7-inch they have. This part's pretty good. This is like some old school Turnstile. Step to Rhythm is the best, I agree. I gotta keep it moving because we got a lot to get through. Couple other things that I thought were interesting. Willow, big year for her. 5 million views on this in like, I don't know, a month or two. She has like 20 million Spotify listeners. She's huge. I think her vocals are a little weak for me, but I'm not her target audience, obviously. And again, anybody that's getting young women into rock, we should be happy about that, because remember, young women are the drivers of pop culture more than anyone else. Like, any genre of music that doesn't have young women involved is basically doomed to be kind of a niche sideline incel kind of thing. So even if you don't like this stuff, you should be happy for the existence of people like her and Olivia Rodrigo. So shout out to Willow. I thought it was cool. Every Time I Die put out a new album. I don't really like this band, but a lot of people talked about it. Respect to these guys. I don't know them, but they seem like lovely people. We have a lot of friends in common, so respect to them, but I find their music very mid. This sounds like a beard to me. Like if you mic'd up a beard and plugged it into a guitar amp, it would sound like this. They are very consistent, that's true. If you notice, there's a little bit of trouble in the Every Time I Die camp. You know, a band that's been together for that long. It's sad to see this kind of stuff come between them. I hope they can work it out. Whatever's going on, I just want everyone to be happy and healthy, and I hope they can work it out. So shout out to them. I hope they have a better 2022. Another person who had a very, very, very big year was Lil Nas X. And I think that's cool because it was sort of unsure what was going to happen with him. He had Old Town Road, which was a, you know, massive song. And of course, people wonder, can he repeat it? Or is he just going to be a one-hit wonder that just sort of happened to capitalize on this viral moment? Well, he did it again. This song, Montero, which I don't love. I liked Old Town Road better, but it's a good song. Generated all this controversy because of this part. Where is it? This part here where he's giving Satan a lap dance. I thought it was funny to see all these metalheads get upset about it. Like, won't someone think of the children? What is Lil Nas X doing in this video? It's awful. Won't someone think of the children? Lil Nas is corrupting the youth. I think it's funny to see all these people that listen to fucking Deicide and shit get upset about someone giving a lap dance to the devil. And it's like, is there anything different about Lil Nas X that could contribute to the fact that these people are so upset about it? Could it be that perhaps a gay black man doing the same thing as their like white boomer heroes do? Could that possibly be what might offend them? No. What could it be? Why are metalheads so upset by Lil Nas X? Gosh, I wonder. Big year for him. I think with that, he proved that he's here to stay. Another power couple, Sun and Avril Lavigne, his girlfriend, are back.
I still burn for you.
Up in flames, light a match and put it to my name. Every time I think I had enough of this, I get more addicted, yeah, I'm so obsessed. I still burn for you.
I think this is really well done. I like this song. It's like a punk ballad. And it's cool also that this is sort of like Sun's breakout year because he's been making music for like 15 years. And it really wasn't until 2020, 2021 that he really broke out. I did a podcast with him, which is fucking great. Like if you haven't watched it, it's on my main channel. You should. It's the best interview I've ever done, maybe. Super cool, thoughtful guy. Really happy to see his success. It just makes you happy to talk to him. Avril obviously is a legend. It's amazing to see someone stay as relevant as her for 20 years, especially since back then anybody would have thought that she was just going to be a one-hit wonder flash in the pan. But here it is 20 years later. Avril is still around. So shout out to her. Shout out to him. Great song. You know, both of them just keep putting out good music and it's inspiring. They seem really happy together and I wish them both the best. Another band on the heavier side of things that had a breakout year is Lorna Shore. This song, To the Hellfire, came out 6 months ago and it has 6 million views, which for like deathcore is a huge number of views. This is a really cool mix, by the way. For all you people that think all I think about is streaming numbers and stuff, this mix is great. Listen to how like nasty and distorted it is and how many like kind of unorthodox things he does. Shout out to Josh Schroeder who mixed it. Spoiler warning, we're going to have him on Nail the Mix next month. He's going to be mixing this song. So if you want to see how he did it, he will show you on Nail the Mix. Listen to how sludgy this is and how that snare pops through. It's such a weird mix. It's great. This is the part everyone freaks out about, this breakdown. Lots of TikToks and stuff. Lots of vocal covers going around on this. I think it's cool that this really just takes you back to that MySpace era of deathcore because it's noisy and fucked up and weird and, you know, just they're not trying to be polished and slick. Again, 6 million views. I mean, this is the kind of numbers that we haven't seen probably since like Suicide Silence and Whitechapel were, you know, at their prime over 10 years ago. So shout out to Lorna Shore. Big year for them. We have also got to talk about Limp Bizkit. I did a review of this album. It was not popular. I thought the album was, you know, okay. To me, what didn't really make sense is how much everyone was freaking out about this, acting as though like Limp Bizkit coming back in 2021 was, I don't know, God's gift to music. The album's fine. Like, I doubt that anybody in the band thinks that this album is amazing. I'm sure that the band thinks it's a B as well. Yet, half of, you know, the rock and metal fandom was acting like it was the fucking return of Christ. Whatever. You know, Fred Durst knows how to make people talk about him, including me. I will talk about Fred Durst as much as I possibly can because every time I do, it gets views. And, you know, good for him. Just goes to show that Fred Durst's success back in the day was not an accident. This guy knows how to get people talking about him. This guy knows how to be the center of attention. Shout out to Fred Durst. The man is good at what he does. The album, maybe not great, but Fred Durst is one of the all-time greats. I will say that. Next up, a band that I don't really know anything about, but I gotta mention them. I don't even know how to say this. Is it Måneskin? Is that how you say it? 113 million views. And they have a bunch of other videos with this many views too. Måneskin, okay. This makes me think of gelato. I'll take the Zitti e Boini with shrimp, please. So these guys won Eurovision, which is like basically America's Got Talent, but for all of Europe. Nobody in America gives a fuck about it, but I guess in Europe it's still a big deal. They won and are putting up huge numbers, not just in Europe, but in America too. And I don't get it. Yeah, it has a bit of that stock music vibe. I agree. Kia commercial vibes. Yes, there's nothing wrong with this. It's fine. It's not bad. I don't understand who are the 1.6 million people that liked this, the 113 million people that listen to this band. I don't really get it. What do I know? If you're asking me to explain how Europeans work, I cannot do that. Another band that I feel like maybe, I don't know. Do we feel like Architects fell off this year? I don't know. They were like the hypest band in metalcore in like 2018 through 2020 or whatever. They put out this new album that's a little bit more rock. But look, 15 million views. That's no joke. Regarding whether they fell off, I wouldn't say so. Lost a lot of their metal fandom, but gained a bigger audience in mainstream rock. That's probably true. I mean, 15 million views is a lot for this genre. Kind of Imagine Dragons-ish. This is just like slightly heavier Imagine Dragons, right? This is probably true. Their new album was super successful. It just reached that point where they're huge and no longer the underground darlings. That's probably right. Hey, good for them. You know, I think even though I don't like this stuff, I would rather see them branch out and do something new and different than just make, you know, more Doomsday, because they're very smart, talented guys. They know what they're doing, and it would be a waste of their talent to just make more Doomsday core. So happy to see their success. I don't know them personally, but we have some mutual friends. I've never heard a single bad thing about them. I feel bad for Sam Carter because I know he's just as annoyed by his fanboys as I am. So great year for Architects. Shout out to them. SeeYouSpaceCowboy is another band that I feel like had a breakout year. They've been around for a while doing this sort of MySpace core thing. I don't typically love this sound, but I do think this band does it very well. And Connie's a really smart, thoughtful person. I did a podcast with her that I enjoyed a lot. Starting to see them get coverage in Loudwire and Kerrang and, you know, these sort of outlets that really can take an artist from this level to this level. So it's cool to see them kind of get some attention since they've been doing this for a long time. And they do have a lot of connections, like real, actual underground hardcore and stuff. So I look forward to seeing, again, I think they're going to be one of these bands that gets a decent sized chunk of kids into like real underground hardcore. And I think that'd be pretty cool to see. And, you know, Connie's been through some personal stuff as far as, you know, getting sober and stuff like that. Cool person. Give her a follow if you haven't. She's got a lot of smart things to say. One band I have not really talked about too much that has been around for a while and put out another good new album this year is Trivium. Been around for almost 20 years now, right? No intros. Come on, Matt. Come on. This really takes me back to like 2004. You know, this is like, God forbid, Kill Switch, Chimera kind of. This makes me feel like I'm at Ozfest or the Rockstar Mayhem Festival. Yeah, great players. I agree. This album is a great example of taking a signature sound and bringing it forward. You know, this is not groundbreaking. You know what I mean? It's metal. It's metalcore. We've heard this before. Just a band doing what they do and doing it well. It's a great mix, too. I don't know who did it. Those guitars sound great. Who mixed this? Oh, Josh Wilbur, of course. Josh Wilbur produced this, who is one of the fucking best in the business, so I'm not surprised that this sounds amazing, because Josh is incredible. No surprise there. Shout out to Trivium for, you know, doing their thing, still putting out good shit, 20 years deep into it. That's the last of the big releases for the year that I want to talk about. You know, there's a million more that I could talk about, just sort of an overview of some of the stuff that I thought was noteworthy. For the rest of this segment, I thought I would share some of the stuff that I like. This is not the stuff that you're going to see on most people's, you know, end of year list. So maybe you like that, maybe you won't.